Hello students, Wendy Ansley here, kinesiology professor at College of the Desert. I look forward to sharing with you a well-rounded sequence today. As always, we have 2 blocks, a wall nearby, and a strap. And always know you can pause something if it's difficult, practice something if you want a little bit more, and just do the best that you can when you're on the 4 corners of the mat and appreciate where you are. And appreciate the practice to get to sometimes where you are. And with that concept of kind of appreciation and gratitude, we'll start with one of my favorite postures, Supta Baddha Konasana. This is where the soles of the feet come together. You can either take a block or do it without blocks. I like to utilize a block, and one I place right underneath kind of my bra strap or my bro strap for men. And the other block I place kind of underneath my head here. Good. So adjust yourself a little bit comfortably. The soles of the feet come together. We're opening up the hips. We're opening the adductors. And then we almost kind of relax the shoulders a little bit and we let the chest open up. We open up the chest. We open up the heart. We tune into the breath. Often on the inhale, the breath rises. On the exhale, we melt into the ground, and we'll stay here several minutes here. Gently come out of this beautiful pose. What a great way to start our practice. Removing the blocks here. We're going to set up in our little tabletop pose here. Hands come under the shoulders, knee under the hips, and we'll do a dynamic movement for the spine, linking breath to movement. Tucking the toes, we're going to inhale look up, tailbone out. Exhale, belly button to the spine, press into the ground. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. 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 Beautiful. Come back just to a neutral position here. Abduct, lift that right arm to the side. And now thread the needle. We're going to draw that right arm through. We're going to rest the shoulder and right ear to the ground. And then we're going to extend that left arm this time. Come onto the fingertips. And just inhale, exhale through the nose. Opening the shoulder. Connecting to the breath, to the shoulder release. Gently release. Come back to tabletop here. Tuck the toes. Inhale, look up, tailbone out. Exhale, dynamic, push into the ground, belly button to the spine. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Beautiful. Abduct that left arm to the side. And draw. Let's thread the left arm through. Rest the left shoulder into the ground. Left ear to the ground. And draw that right arm up. Come onto the fingertips. Use the breath to continue to release the left shoulder here. Connect breath with movement. Gently come out. Come back to tabletop here. So walk the hands forward a few inches. Lead with the hips. Come into our first dynamic down dog. Heel toe. Heel toe. Press through the palms. Come into a little static hold. We press through those palms. We almost root with the index fingers just a little bit more. Beautiful. We firm those thighs. We press those thighs back. Heels in line with the pinky toe. Belly button to the spine. We'll stay here several breaths. Walk the hands and the feet towards each other at the same time. Inhale, halfway lift. Often in the halfway lift, the hands are to the shins or the thighs or possibly to the ground. Tailbone is out and back. We gaze forward and down. Exhale, come into a little dynamic forward fold, heel and toe, still lubricating the joints, preparing for our practice. Into a little forward fold, come more to that midfoot. Stay here several breaths. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up, Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart-centered. Beautiful. And we'll set our intention for our practice today. I just wanted to share with you almost a little bit of a theme. Yoga is the union of the body, mind, and spirit. And one of the highest levels of yoga, they say, is the attitude of gratitude. Take a moment, close your eyes, lower your head to your fingertips. Possibly focus on 3 areas of gratitude in your life. Honor this gratitude with your breath and your efforts and your positive thoughts. And we'll look up. Remember the opposite when you're depressed and you're down and you shift into that gratitude mode. That can change your outlook on life and the way you treat yourself and the way you treat others. And that's what this yoga practice often does for me. In Tadasana, rooting through the 4 corners of the feet. Inhale, draw those arms up, acknowledging gratitude in your life. Energy out the fingertips. Exhale, come into a little forward fold, dynamic forward fold, heel and toe. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the shins or the thighs, possibly to the ground. Gaze forward and down. Framing the feet, step back into Phalakasana. Plank, a little core activation here. Round that upper back, belly button to the spine. And stay here several breaths. Extending that right leg kind of in line with the hips. And we're pressing outer edge of the right foot and we're drawing that right hip inward. We're warming up here. Beautiful. And now we're going to draw that right foot across. Still that foot is in line with the hip. And now I'm going to lower the right hip down so I'm warming up those hips. Come back to plank. Same thing, draw that left leg out, press outer edge of the left foot, and now draw that left hip down. And now draw that left hip across, foot in line with the hip. Lower the hip to the ground. Come back into plank. Lead with the hips, come into down dog. Press through the palms, create length in the spine. Tailbone back and down. Beautiful down dog. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Transition, we're going to walk the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Releve up. The feet are together, ankles, knees, and shins. And we're lowering the glutes in a form of malasana here. I take my hands back. I'm working on the balance here. And if I can connect to the pose, I might draw my head a little closer to my knees. I actually kind of close my eyes in this posture and connect. Breathing into that gratitude. Acknowledging my efforts. Gently lowering the heels. Gently bending the knees. Inhale, swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Rooting through the four corners of the feet. Inhale, draw those arms up. Energy out the fingertips. Exhale, come into a little forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Framing the feet, step back into Phalakasana plank. Round that upper back, belly button to the spine, core awakening. Active legs, active shoulders, active core. Drawing that left leg out to the side and kind of in line with the hips here, and I lower the left hip. This is kind of a modified form of pigeon, guys. And now I draw that left leg across. Again, that foot in line with the hips. Lower the left hip. I'm just preparing for my practice. Step back into plank. Drawing that right foot up in line with the hips. Lower that right hip down. Draw that right foot across, lowering the right hip to the ground. Come back to Phalakasana. Come back to down dog. Stay here several breaths. Transition, we're going to walk it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Releve up on the balls of the feet. Ankles, knees, and shins together. Lowering into Malasana. So we lower those glutes. Glutes near those heels. Come on to the fingertips. And let's lower our head, if we can, close to the knees. We draw those hands back just a bit. Awakening even the pelvic floor muscles, our Mula Bandha, connecting our entire body into this pose. Gently lower the heels. Gently bend the knees. Inhale, swan dive up. Open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Beautiful. Sometimes I like to take my blocks and come up a little bit higher to kind of deepen my hamstring stretch. At the beginning of my practice, I kind of like to do that. And so I take my blocks together. You can either do the feet together or hip width apart. I like the toes off the edge of the block a little bit. I still awaken my four corners of the feet. I awaken my arches. I'm going to inhale, draw those arms up. Exhale, I'm swan diving down and I'm coming into a forward fold. I'm going now 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches farther. Maybe with these blocks, I'm going a little bit lower, coming more to that midfoot. And I want you to simply inhale, lengthen, and exhale, release those hamstrings. Give permission for those hamstrings to almost release to assist our practice. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up, open the chest, open the heart. Beautiful, and come out of that pose. And removing the blocks. Nice. Sometimes I take my hands together and I just kind of awaken my wrists just a bit, and we'll stay here. Several breaths, draw the shoulders down the back. Slight wrist awakening. Shake out those wrists too. Starting in Tadasana, we're going to add a little hop. 5-point star here. I want you to rotate those big toes in slightly, awaken those arches, press outer edges of the feet. Energy out to the fingertips. Draw those elbows near one another, shoulders down the back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. Hands under the shoulders, gaze forward. Breathe into those hamstrings. Breathe into the inner groins. I'm mirroring you. So you're going to take your right foot and adjust it. You're almost preparing for Virabhadrasana too. The back foot rotates in a few, about 45 to 60 degrees. And we're going to lower the hips here. We're almost in like a little half lizard pose here. And we're going to stay here several breaths. Draw that right sitting bone in just a bit. Lower the hips. Gently release, adjust that right foot, gaze forward, hands under the shoulders, the concave back. Adjusting your left foot here, 90 degrees, and that back foot in 45 to 60 degrees. We come on to the fingertips here, and I want you to draw almost that left hip inward a bit, and just lower the glutes, continue to press outer edge of the back foot. Gently release. Come into Prasarita stance here. Gaze forward and down. Walk the heels together just a few inches, just a couple inches. And I want you to walk those hands back kind of in line with the heels. And I want us just to kind of rock side to side, touching into that little hip mobility. And we'll hold here several breaths. Great job. Attitude of gratitude. Gently elevate those glutes. Walk those hands again under the shoulders. Press outer edges of the feet. Hands to the hips, belly button to the spine. Back is flat. Inhale. Rise. Heel toe it in. Beautiful job. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Awesome. Connecting again to a little hip mobility, a little core as we awaken and go even deeper into this practice. Feet are together. Heels are on the ground. Hands are about their shoulder width apart, their shoulder height apart. We're going to exhale, keep the ankles, knees, and shins, heels on the ground here. And we're awakening the calves, the muscles in the front of the shins, the ankles, the Achilles. We're drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Gently lowering the glutes to the ground. We're going to come into either partial boat, so partial for us, strengthening those hip flexors. Keep the hands onto the ground, the shoulders to the shins parallel to the ground. Or if we can, come into full bows, but I want a good posture with this. Energy out the fingers, out those toes, strengthening the hip flexors. We'll stay here a while. Believe in what you're doing. This is yoga's signature core exercise. We'll stay here quite a bit longer. Gently bend the knees, transition. Try to get up without your hands and knees. Inhale, rise. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, swan dive up. Energy out the fingertips. Exhale, come into a little forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Framing the feet, step back into Phalakasana. And either gently lower to the knees or draw the sternum and chest forward in Chaturanga. Press to the tops of the feet, up dog. Exhale, come into down dog. Draw the right knee to the chest, to the nose. Place the right foot next to the right hand. Turn that back foot 45 to 60 degrees. Inhale, come into warrior one. Press outer edge of the back foot. Front knee in line over the ankle. Belly button to the spine. If you want to open the shoulders, you can widen the hands or you can draw those palms together. On the exhale, we're going to adjust that back foot just a bit. Warrior two. So you feel almost, I want that knee going towards the pinky toe, but we're pressing that left back thigh back. Good. Energy out the fingers, shoulders down the back. Gaze over the right hand. Virabhadrasana 2. Transitioning on the exhale to extended angle. Many of us will I want a little bit of room here. Elbow inside the right knee, 6 o'clock arms. Or some of us are going to grow the pose, externally rotating, pressing outer edge of the back foot, rotating that pinky in, drawing that right sitting bone in, growing the pose from the back foot through the hips, through the crown of the head, and maybe gaze up at the fingertips. We'll stay here. Maybe some of you will add the bind. Left hand on the sacrum. And if we can, we clasp the hands. We gaze over the left shoulder. Gently release. Virabhadrasana 2. Circle the hands down. We're going to come into a little more hip mobility here. And we're going to gently lower now the left knee to the ground. This is a pose I like to kind of work on. It's a little bit different. And we're going to try to wedge the right shoulder. We call this crisscross a little bit, crisscross. And we find balance here. See my balance? I'm trying to kind of draw that right sitting bone in, both arms to the side, and I'm finding this balance. Beautiful. Come up and maybe just kind of work on the fingertips underneath And just finding a little bit of the balance with the fingertips and then drawing the hips down and up. Good. Beautiful. Adjust. I'm drawing, framing the foot, coming out of it, coming into down dog. Awesome. Drawing the left knee to the chest, to the nose. Place the left foot next to the left hand. 45, 60 degrees. That back foot. Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale, create length. Square those hips. Belly button to the spine, gaze up. On the exhale, warrior 2. Add a little bit of room here as we come into 6 o'clock arms here. Elbow inside the knee, right arm up. And for some of us, we grow the pose, externally rotating the arm from the back foot, through the hips, through the crown of the head. Leverage that rotation of the torso. Some of us might place the right hand on the sacrum, come into that bind, gaze over the shoulder. Inhale, rise. Circle those hands down on the inside. Adjust that back foot. Now I'm going to lower the knee to the ground. I'm working on a little bit of balance, flexibility as I wedge that left arm underneath and I come into this pose, this criss-cross pose. Arms out, draw that left hip back a little bit, out and back. Draw the sternum forward. Gently release. Straighten that leg. And now just draw come onto the fingertips. Come into down dog stretch. Walk the hands and the feet towards each other at the same time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stay here several breaths. Gently bend the knees. Swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Beautiful. Cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Amazing job. Attitude of gratitude. Feast that attitude of gratitude. Adding on to this now, we did a lot of opening the hips one way, and now we're going to kind of draw the hips the other way. We'll start in Garudasana. If some of you want to use a block in the eagle pose, you can, okay? You can set it right next to you here, or you can just simply bring the foot to the side. So I lightly bend the left leg, and I'm drawing the right foot either over here or behind. Right arm comes underneath, left arm over the top, and my elbows are in line with my shoulders, and my hips are coming towards one another. I bend the knees. Good, and I sink just a bit lower. Beautiful eagle pose. Good for the shoulders, great for the hips. Gently come out of the pose. Take that right leg up. Transition it back to crescent moon. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Rotate that pinky toe in. Draw both arms up. Left hand on the hip, right arm up, and now we're going to do the opposite of extended angle. We're taking the right shoulder outside of the left knee. Beginners can lower the knee down, but if you can, come here. Once that shoulder and elbow is outside the knee, can we grow the pose? Beautiful. Draw that right hip forward and eventually rotate that pinky in. Leverage that torso. I try to kind of get the bottom ribs off my thigh and just leverage that rotation. Top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Left hand on the hip, gaze at that big toe. Inhale, rise. Exhale, frame the foot. Down dog pose. Gently lower to the knees to the ground. Tuck the toes. We're going to prepare for puppy dog pose. In puppy dog pose, I walk the hands out a bit. I rest my forehead to the ground. I draw the shoulder blades down the back ribs. And some of us may be able to do our chest and chin on the ground at the same time, which is another beautiful shoulder opener. Most of us will keep either the forehead or chest and chin. Another variation I like to do is I like to extend my legs in puppy dog. And just release the shoulders. Gently lower the knees. Walk the hands back to tabletop. Lead with the hips. Adho Mukha down dog. Press through the palms. Length in the spine. Take the heels, widen them. Press those inner thighs back. Tailbone back and down. Pubic bone back and up. Walk the hands and feet towards one another. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up, open the chest, open the heart, attitude of gratitude. Exhale, heart-centered. I'm going to turn this way just to give another little view for the camera. Working the other side. We're going to root through the four corners of the right foot this time. We're going to draw that left leg up and over. So we're gently bend the right leg for eagle pose, and we draw that left leg around the calf. Left arm underneath, right arm over the top. And then lower the hips a little bit. Draw the palms forward a little bit. Gaze forward. You feel those hips they almost come towards one another, and we're going to sink just a little bit lower. Draw the palms forward a little bit. Connect to the shoulders and the hips and the balance. Beautiful yoga. Transition. Draw that left foot up. Connect. Crescent moon. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Rotate. Come onto the pinky toe. Both arms up. Right hand on the hip. Left arm up. Exhale. Lower the left elbow and shoulder. If you can, you lower the knee. If you can, you come to prayer. Eventually, once you can get the shoulder and elbow, you come in and you almost leverage that rotation of the torso. Eventually, rotate the pinky in. Right hand on the hip, gaze at that big toe. Inhale, rise. Crescent moon. Exhale, frame the foot. Down dog. Gently lower to the knees, preparing for puppy dog. Releasing the shoulders. We're going to draw the arms out, press through the palms. Many of us simply are just going to rest the forehead onto the ground and just feel the scapula kind of coming near the spinal column here and just releasing the shoulders. That's part of shoulder stability and just taking care of the body. Eventually, some of us can take our chest and chin. We've got enough flexibility there. Chest and chin. And a few of us that can do the chest and chin may straighten the legs. Come into another heightened version of puppy dog. So we've got 3 variations there. Lower the knees to the ground. Walk the hands back. Tabletop. Beautiful. And from tabletop here, we're going to come into Shishulasana. Okay? So we're going to rest the forearms to the ground. We're going to press through those palms evenly. And we're going to lift up. It's like a down dog, but we're pressing, rooting through the forearms and the palms here, the inner palms especially. Elbows are in line with the shoulders. Good. And just a little shoulder strength here. shoulder stability. So we root through the forearms, press through the palms. And we'll stay here several breaths. To build a little bit of strength here, sometimes I like to take my chin almost towards my thumbs and then I come back. Chin towards the thumbs and then I come back. We're building again shoulder stability. Chin towards the thumbs, come back. 2 more. Shoulder stability. 1 more. Gently release. We're going to come into our first wide-legged child's pose, big toes touching. Send those hips back, make room for the torso, widen the knees. Rest the forehead onto the ground. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Inhale, create length in the spine. Exhale, press into the ground. You can stay in this child's pose maybe a little bit longer. I want to show you a variation up on the wall here. We're going to take our mats to the wall. And you know how we do our L handstand? Now we're going to do a variation where we're going to do our L forearm stand, which is a variation of Pincha Mayurasana, feathered peacock pose. So here I am. I take the blocks and I take my thumbs around those blocks. And all we're really thinking about is shoulder stability. That's all we're thinking about. And it's here that maybe beginners are simply going to root here, or maybe you're going to keep 1 foot down, okay? But here I am, good, in my little L handstand here. And it's about 1 length off the wall. So let's do that again. So that's what it looks like. But if I was to analyze it, that's really where I have it. I have it about 1 leg length off the wall. Again, measure this little L here. And it's here that we're going to root. We're going to root through the forearms and kind of root in the inner part of the wrists here. And we're engaging the shoulders. It's shoulder stability at the finest here. So many of us here as beginners, and eventually this L stand here. Root through the forearms, engage the shoulders. And we're going to stay here a while. It's okay to kind of look at that wall for, the second phase. Engage the chest and shoulders. And then back at the hands here, up at the thumbs. Stay here 10 more seconds. Shoulder stability. Gently come out. Shake it out a bit. Shake it out. Maybe 1 more. Wide-legged child's pose, big toes touching, widen the knees. Walk those palms forward. Shift those hips back. Rest through press through the forehead and drive the hips close to the heels. Gently come out of the pose. Come up to the wall. We're going to do a little camel, and sometimes I like to do a camel facing the wall just for a variation. It teaches me the importance of keeping as I press through the feet, I keep my hips here. So some people just want to go back to camel this way. And again, the main goal is to open the chest, open the heart, and take that rigid mid-thoracic and kind of compress it. Okay? So the wall, either variation is fine, but I sometimes go this way. And I start with my hands by the sacrum. I press that tailbone down. I draw the elbows close to one another. Press the tailbone down. Inhale, create length. Exhale, come into the pose. We'll keep our hand by the sacrum, the first one. Inhale and rise. Beautiful. We're going to hold a little bit longer, and you either can keep your hand by the sacrum, or you can bring your hands near the soles of the feet and continue to feel the upper spine come through the heart. Press the sacrum down, create length. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lead with that upper back. Hands to the soles of the feet. Press through the soles of the feet. Drive the hips towards the wall and continue to take the upper spine through the heart. Hands to the sacrum. Inhale and rise. Beautiful. Coming onto our backs. Coming into a spinal twist. Coming onto the ball of the left foot. Draw that right knee up and over. Coming onto the left hip. Press the shoulder into the ground. Gaze over the shoulder. Stay here several breaths. Beautiful. And adjust, come out of that pose, press the right, kind of the ball of the foot, the midfoot into the wall, draw the left knee to the chest, and over. Come on to the right hip and extend that left arm to the side, left shoulder to the ground. Stay here 10 breaths. Gently release. Draw both knees to the chest. And think about getting the lower spine to the ground. Beautiful. And gently roll out of this just a bit. We're going to just do a kind of a delicious longer hold of our just simple Paschimottanasana, our forward fold here. Beautiful. I'm going to check my camera just a little bit. If you need to have a strap or a block, come into that pose. Just wonder if the glare is so much here. Good. Let's see if that's a little bit better. Good. Into a forward fold here. There we go. Sorry about that. You either can take the strap. You've got different variations for those of you, right? We want to root through the sitting bones, create length. If we can, we take the strap right into the midfoot, and we're going to inhale, create length, and come over, right? If we struggle coming down, we take the strap and we draw ourselves closer. We've got the block here, which encourages that outer edges of the feet to come back, okay? And some people so flexible, they might even take 1 or 2 blocks. You decide, create length, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. The inhale, rise. We're going to do this again. Now, this is a little dynamic expression. Sometimes we do it one time, and now we're going to go one more and hold a little bit longer. Inhale, create length. Exhale, come forward. 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 more inches. Inhale, rise. Beautiful. Coming into a Shavasana here, a longer hold. Letting everything go. Relaxing the arms, relaxing the legs. Letting everything go, soaking in the benefits of our practice. Coming out of our Shavasana, little movements in your fingers and toes. Gently bend the knees. Right arm over the head. Use the left hand to press yourself up. And folding your hands in Anjali Mudra. Reflecting back to our sequence today. I know I've got the sun shining in here. Maybe that is the gratitude that is shining through. This is a sign. Honor this gratitude. Namaste. Have a great day, everybody.